The reason modern day liberalism is so toxic is not because it just represents a different set of ideas than conservatism. It's because it's taken on a false sense of moral superiority to all other political ideologies. Liberals have monopolized certain terms that they know to be universally positive, like inclusion, love, equality, acceptance, compassion, so as to categorize themselves as the good ones, or on the right side. Because they've taken ownership of these words, they've also given themselves the authority to define them. So instead of molding their movement to actually be compassionate, loving, or tolerant, they've just changed the definitions of the words to fit their movement. What they don't realize is manipulating words and ideas to bolster your bias actually isn't liberal at all, which originally denotes freedom and individualism. It's totalitarian, fascist even, the very kind of government the left says that they're fighting against. Liberals have taken words like compassionate, loving, kind, accepting, and have wedded them exclusively to their party and their platform. Therefore, anyone outside of their party can't be kind, loving, compassionate, or accepting. In order to be these things, you must advocate for sanctuary cities, transgender bathrooms, exorbitant taxes for the rich. Unless you buy into our agenda, they say, you're basically a bad person. And in so categorizing us, the left, of course, puts themselves on the right side of history. But who can argue with someone who claims to define good versus bad, right versus wrong, while at the same time denying that any such black and white dichotomy exists? In other words, how can you reason with people who claim to be the originators of absolute truth, yet simultaneously deny its existence? The answer is you can't. You cannot have a productive conversation with someone who, let's say, condemns organized religion for self-righteousness while self-righteously condemning others who don't think the way they do. The arguments for modern-day liberalism are beyond, or maybe beneath, logic. That's because, in general, the left values feelings over reality and political correctness over truth. Nothing has to be proven. I just have to feel it for it to be true. They give something as subjective as one's feelings a place of objective moral authority. For example, they like the idea of letting illegal immigrants stay here without consequence, but they ignore the stories of murder and rape that result from criminals who are here illegally. They feel good about themselves when they're protesting this so-called Muslim ban, ignoring the fact that such a ban is 1, constitutional, 2, temporary, and 3, if it was a Muslim ban, it would be entirely ineffective. They can say with conviction that the rich should be taxed even more to help out the poor, but they ignore the fact that their fearless socialist leader, Bernie Sanders, just bought his 3rd house. They feel like Donald Trump is taking away their rights and ruining America and colluding with Russia, but most liberals couldn't tell you how or why. And to be fair, at times, this can be said of both parties. Both sides of the spectrum could do well to be advocates of truth rather than advocates of any party, idea, or person, okay? But the special irony of the left is their unique hypocrisy, that they are bullying, screaming, looting, rioting in the name of tolerance, love, acceptance, and equality. They claim to be the party of compassion while showing no empathy for those who disagree with them. They claim to be the party of progress when their actions harken back to a time before democracy and freedom characterized the Western world. They replace logic with emotion, only citing history, science, and the Constitution when they feel like it, when it fits into their preconceived narrative of how they think the world should work. And that is why the moral anger and the vitriol of the left and the Democratic Party is not going to end. They think that their anger is justified. They think that they're vigilantes, they're the good guys, they're heroes, they're whistleblowers, they're fighting evil. They classify their anger as righteous indignation, and it's therefore, in a sense, religiously motivated. They're simply following their self-made god of liberal morality, and they'll stop at nothing to hasten the advent of their leftist political messiah that will save them from the proverbial antichrist that is Donald Trump. It's true. So what do we do? Well, the problem is complex, but the solution is simple. Speak the truth, which I'll remind you may not always be associated with a certain political party. Be logical, be bold, be kind, and don't stop speaking out. My name's Allie, I'm the Conservative Millennial. For more posts like this, you can like my page or subscribe to theconservativemillennialblog.com.